get on live, you crazy dog. All right, we'll be going live soon. Waiting for couple people to get in, and then we'll be right back.
I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. I don't wanna hear any more small talk. Off that short pier, take a long walk. My style ain't free cause it ain't off top. I'm at your throat, go get a cough drop. It's kush. I love me too much and your brain turn to mush. Fall flat on your tush. You couldn't handle the product I push. I guess I'm just used to it, I just do it. Like Nike swoosh, none of that Reggie Bush cause I'm top shelf. I ain't got...
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Matt's gonna have to change that because, yeah, I feel like he kind of jinxed us with that one.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know. It's just like something about that just screams jinx.
I think you hate us, man, because you know the Titans and Houston's things is way better than ours.
Well, I mean, of course he hates us. We along with Deshaun Watson and the organization as a whole have kept them from advancing into playoffs for numerous seasons. So there's a reason to hate. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and get started in a second. Let me just go ahead and just get myself going. Sponsored by Albuterol? Not really, but Albuterol, if you want to pick us up, then I don't see why not.
We definitely need it.
Yeah, yeah, because this team gives me asthma. I already have asthma, but this team gives me asthma. So do with that information what you will. All right, we'll wait for. All right, and yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. And welcome everybody to the You Don't Know Jack podcast, where we're just talking about the Colts because we're just ready for the season to be over. However, we're gonna give you all Colts news, everything you need to know, and yeah. So, in the meantime, let's just go ahead and just get right into it. Just introducing you to the guys. Starting off, we'll start off with Josh Senior.
It was good, everybody.
All right. Then we have with us Austin Cook.
What's up? I'm Austin.
Yes. And I'm actually happy, but I'm Chris Jackson. And the reason why I'm happy is because we are now in the top 5 in the draft. So that means that good days are coming. However, in the meantime, it's just like some of the news has been a little bit less than ideal recently. Um, of course, we know Jonathan Taylor went on IR last week. Um, I'm going to say the guy that I've been raving about all season is now officially. I think he's on IR now with Isaiah Rogers being on IR.
Yeah,
Which
that's tough.
I mean, honestly, it's just like it's tough, but at the same time, it's just like you know what you've got from him, and you know exactly what it is to to have him in there. So just gonna say, rest up, get ready for next season, and yeah, like I said, you'll be back in your spot because Brandon Facetson ain't no way that you're coming back. I just don't see how. I truly don't see how there could have been anything. Like it's at this point it's just like it's null and void. Like there's no point. But either way, let's just go ahead, just get right into it. Only because of the fact that we know that there hasn't been much good news coming out. And Jim Irsay went on and he did an interview today, or not today, but a few days ago, um, talking about some things. And he didn't give much better news, if we're being completely honest. Um, just a couple of things that were said where they're talking about, the process with Jeff Saturday, um, what went into the whole decision with Frank Reich. Um, based on the comments, what did we hear where we were like, okay, that made sense, and what do we hear where we're just like, that's just an absolute load of crap?
Well, being that I'm upset, you can go ahead. I'll let you go. I was about to let you go first.
Okay. So, uh, he's saying Jeff Saturday is like a possible obviously he's a possible head coaching candidate, but like he's making it sound like he has a better chance than we had originally thought, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And he's making it seem like Chris Ballard will be back next year. And I'm just hoping that that's a bunch of crap, because we've seen what they both can do. We can't score in the fourth quarter for some reason
Yeah.
with Jeff Saturday. Just those two things, stuck out to me that I'm hoping is not true, and he's just saying it because what are you supposed to say in the middle of a season to an interim head coach and your GM?
Yeah, because I mean, I want to say it's just like that was it, everything that he said was something like he's trying to portray a certain thing, like he's trying to portray a certain message, but it just didn't come off as authentic. But what were your thoughts about it, Josh? Because I have my own thoughts about it, but I don't know. It's just like there's a lot of room for interpretation.
Well, if you want my thoughts on it, it was like you can kiss my ass. Oh, I don't know. Because well, when it
Go
come
on,
down
Ike.
to Jim, because it did sound like he's saying, hey, he did say um, that Ballard will be the GM next year. Then he said that after the season, there will be a coaching process. Meaning the Rooney Rule.
Hmm.
So everybody will get a chance to interview for the position, including Saturday. Um, but it seemed like he just loved Saturday. Like he just, he was just kind of hung on Saturday being the guy to be the coach full time.
Yeah.
I wasn't so bummed about it, but when you have the other options we mentioned last week and we mentioned all season, who we want as a coach if they were to fire Reich. Um,
Yeah.
it was a kind of a little disturbing. But like you said, like Austin said, what he's supposed to say, when they ask him about, his GM and coach mid
Hmm.
season with 2 or 3 games left, why would he say, hey, they got those guys won't be here? So he had to say something. He had to say the right things. Otherwise, he just he doing just digging himself a hole. And since we already getting embarrassed the last 3 weeks, it just makes the makes it job harder for anybody to come to. Players, coaches, staff, the admin team, the front office, stuff like this. So he said the right things, but unfortunately, it made a lot of us, frustrated or upset, including myself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, you were very upset, very
Yes,
very upset. But
highly upset.
but you know what? There's times like this where I just wish Ursay just wouldn't come out publicly and talk about anything because the stuff that he says completely contradicts what's going on, right?
Hmm.
Because we've been through this where we've said, yeah, like we know that things need to change. It's a structural issue. It's from top to bottom. The problem is that what's going on, Tez? Glad to have you with us. But when you're talking about from top to bottom, we at first they scapegoated Marcus Brady. There's no way around that because I
Correct.
mean honestly, they got rid of Marcus Brady, and then we ended up the offense got worse if we're being completely honest. And then you go ahead and you fire Frank Reich. Now you see the team, you put Jeff Saturday in that position, and now it's just like things have I mean they've gotten worse. They've just gotten worse with different players in different positions.
Hmm.
So now we're what we're seeing is that there's a there's not just a structural issue, but there's a personnel issue, especially when it comes down to the players, and it comes down to how bad the offense is because nothing has been able to be done. I mean, it looks like Michael Pittman Jr. might just get over 1,000 yards again for the second season in a row. So, okay, fantastic. We've seen spurts from different players like Jelani Woods, Alec Pierce. We've been able to see everything that we needed to see, but the only problem that we're having now is that this O line is bad, and the QB situation is even worse than the O line. So I mean, I don't see how you can continuously go into these games and say, you know what, Chris Ballard, Chris Ballard has done a great job because in reality he hasn't. Chris Ballard has done a good job. But the problem is that when you skip over free agency year after year, and then when you finally do go into free agency, you sign some guys on defense where the defense looks great, but the offense it just looks like trash. And you could have fixed this O line years and years ago, but you chose not to. I mean, honestly, I think probably one of the most damning things that he did when he tried to fix the O line was getting Eric Fisher because he was from Kansas City over Charles Leno Jr., who honestly was the much better option at that particular time.
I think his issue is because he failed. We all remember the guys that he signed on offense, not named offense line. He went and got Funches, the receiver, who was
Hmm.
trash. He only had 1 season. He went and got Ryan Grant, who failed the physical with the Ravens. He only last 1 year.
Yep.
Um, and he got the ex Charger. I forgot his name, but he did well with Andrew Luck. But he only last. They've been on the team twice. But he failed. He just been failing at that. He just outside the only free agent that he he got that worked well with us. It might be a stretch. Was Audrey, but he let him go. The rest of the guys, none of them didn't last over a year.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
free agency is bad.
I think Autry was definitely probably one of those like once in a while signings. Because I'm gonna say it's just like I think Ballard did pretty well. I mean, it's just like he got some guys on some decent deals. Like he got Justin Houston, which was okay. Like he's got Justin Houston, Danico Autry. He's been able to do certain things with certain players, but the problem is that this offense is pretty much deteriorating. I mean, yeah, we've done better. I mean, for the first time in a few years, we're actually going to have a wide receiver or multiple wide receivers that are actually going to be above 500 yards receiving. And I mean, we saw last year when we had Michael Pittman Jr. After him, the second highest receiver was Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, which is
And I
bad.
mean, and this is from a team that doesn't take checkdowns. So I mean, I don't know, exactly what they plan on, like what the plan is, but I mean, as far as it goes right now, it's just like this. We said it before, and we'll say it again. This isn't sustainable. Like this isn't something that you can just look at and say, oh yeah, like we're good. Like we've been a team that's been in rebuild for years now, even though we've been able to be competitive and we've had a roster that can be competitive, but we've been in rebuild, which to me is just like that's another absolute load of crap. Because there's no way that you can say we're in rebuild year after year because you can't be you. There's no way in hell you're rebuilding that long. Like I just it no no that rubs me the wrong way. Like that
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
the philosophy is worn out. If you want to say that the term, or it's just worn out because I would understand it his first couple of years. You give him some type of leeway, you know. But now 3 more years, he's like, okay, how are we rebuilding when we are patching up, quarterback position, left tackle position? How are we
Yeah.
rebuilding? We're getting veteran guys, so it's not like we're rebuilding, so to speak. But after every season is completed, we're looking at, okay, there's a lot of holes to fill, and we're like, okay,
Yeah.
what we need to fill? It's always the line. It's always at quarterback. It's always at pass rush. It's the same spots every year, and he's supposed to address them, but he'll he, the draft just alone is not going to fix this.
I mean, well, not that, yeah, the draft alone is not going to fix it. Like the thing is, the the best thing that can happen for any team is going to be draft, free agency, and a combination of some trades here and there that can potentially go ahead and put you over the top. Like and the thing is, we haven't done that. We've had trades, but the thing is, I think other than the Forrest Buckner trade, then the Carson Wentz trade, which was a disaster, you see that it's just like he likes to trade for these depth guys. Okay, whatever. Free agency, damn near non-existent. And then, of course, in the draft, frequently trading back in the draft. Like you're frequently trading out of the first round in situations where you know for a fact that you need to go ahead and find somebody now. So how are we justifying that any of this is working when the three phases of the offseason in which you acquire players are almost never hit on at the same time, or you're basically dipping in the bargain bin for? Like
Yeah, he
Chris
definitely.
Ballard has Chris Ballard has been great with finding good talent late in the draft. But the thing is, it's just good. It's not like great talent. It's not talent where it's just like you can justify trading back for a guy who fell, who you knew for a fact was absolutely going to be like a dog.
But when he's trading back, he's gaining more picks. Where are the picks going to? I mean, I would understand if he's gaining more picks, and then the next season he take those picks, couple of picks, and say, hey, you know what? We're going to go after a receiver. We're going to go after a offensive lineman. We're going to trade for, you know, say it, safety or corner, something like that. It's like a blockbuster move with
Yeah.
those picks that he's trading back on in the draft. but he's not doing it. It's like he don't know what it's like he's been he's getting away from himself, like Frank Wright was doing as head coach. He's getting away from himself. He's like, okay, I got all these picks. What I'm going to do? Oh, you know what? I can just draft two more pass rushers in the same round. Oh, I can just draft another two. I can draft two offensive linemen. Okay, one guy's going to be a starter. The other guy may not play at all. It's just like he just don't know what he's. It's just like he get too carried away with his philosophy because he's going to believe in it, and he's going to tell us, hey, you know, if I go get this guy here, you guys going to be mad at me. Well, you not at least give us a chance to be mad at you by taking the guy.
Yeah, but the thing, but even that was a scapegoat. Like that was probably an extremely cheap out because you're gonna say, oh, you do this. If I do this, you guys get mad. If I do this, you guys get mad. It's just like, no, you have chances to address everything, and you screw it up because you want to go and you want to keep all this. You want to have the cap space, but then all the cap space is then eaten up by a one and done quarterback. And then we're back to having cap space, but then we have to re-sign guys. Like he has been good about re-signing certain guys, and I get that. But at the same time, you can't keep on saying that if we do this, you'll be mad. If you'll do this, then you know what? We'll be pissed off. This fan base is a fan base where we literally know exactly what this team has been capable of. We know who we have there. So the thing is, if you do something because you know for a fact it's going to work, then yeah, it's just like people are going to be pissed off. But I mean, if it's for the good of the team and the record shows that what you did worked, then that's fine. You want to sit there and say, well, if I do this, you guys are going to be mad. And if I do this, you guys are going to be mad. Well, hell yeah, we're mad. Because the thing is, at right now, we're 4-9-1 or 4-10-1. And we're already looking at a top 5 pick. If there were no quarterbacks available, then we would have just absolutely wanted his head on a pike.
Correct.
But I mean, the thing is, we have an opportunity to draft a quarterback, and now you think about how much of a habit you have to have put into a fan base's mind that they are now thinking that there's a chance that you can possibly trade back and not even go after a quarterback and then sign somebody like Derek Carr, who was just benched. Like, that's how scared people are right now because of how Ballard is as a GM. Like that bargain bin mindset, it's just it's nuts. I don't know. But you know what? Let's go ahead and get to some comments because we got a lot coming in. We have one from Daniel J. Steiner McMullen. What's up, y'all? First time listening to y'all. Welcome. Glad to have you. Hopefully you continue to tune in. We're normally in here on Tuesdays, but being that the Colts game was on Monday, we pushed it back because we had the AFC South Fan Battle podcast on Tuesday, which is our parent podcast. So, yeah, make sure you tune into that one on Mondays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Tez says, how you guys feel if we trade for Jordan Love for a 3rd or a 4th round pick and draft a guy like Anthony Richardson around number 7 to 15?
Nope.
Let him develop while add more high-value picks in this draft and next.
Nope.
So
it would make sense if you're going to trade for a guy who was a 1st-round pick and then turn around and select a guy who could be a 1st-round pick. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, how do you feel about that, Austin?
Yeah, I'd rather just take a chance on just Anthony Richardson. I understand he's raw, but if we're going to draft a rookie quarterback in the 1st round, I feel like he needs to play right away no matter how raw he is. And then you're just taking another chance on Jordan Love, who's been in the league for a few years. So it's just like, why not take a chance on the rookie?
Yeah.
And save your picks.
Yeah. It says, last time I'll say this, and I've said it a few times, losing Andrew Luck to retirement was an earthquake for the organization. And Chris Ballard has done what most of our QBs have done effectively in that scramble. We have several holes in our roster with depth, but we need a QB who will be able to extend plays. And the crazy thing about it is that Chris Ballard, we addressed this kind of last week, whereas we talked about the fact that, you know, Chris Ballard went the safe route of going with a veteran quarterback because if they do well, it's a genius move. If they do bad, then it's because of the fact that they're a veteran. But the problem is that you can only hide that butt for so long. And even if that was the case, yeah, you can get a quarterback that can extend plays, but you can't possibly think that you're going to be able to do that with Matt Ryan, who has never been a quarterback that can scramble at all. Like there's no way in hell. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Well,
But
we
yeah,
had
Andrew
one that's
Luck,
we had one that's in the place, but they gave up on him after a year.
who wins? Yeah, you're just saying that because you bought the jersey.
Well, I mean, there's that too, but but he was. I mean, it looked different compared to Phillip Rivers, and what we used to have. And it just he was extended play. He just couldn't do check downs. That was his issue.
Yeah. And then Darius says, "What it do, fellas? Going on, Darius? Then have not done effectively." Then Ted says, I think personally, we draft a raw guy like Aaron Richardson or Anthony Richardson, let him grow within the game. He has elite mobility, arm strength, high football character, has shown to be coachable and improved his mechanics during the end of the season. So here's what I'm going to say regarding Anthony Richardson. I have no problem going after a guy like Anthony Richardson if you're pairing him with an offensive minded quarterback that will know exactly how to put him in a system that works. The one thing that you can do, especially with somebody like that, is you can put them in a place where they'll be able to go and immediately just jump into a system, but they'll be able to jump into a system that doesn't solely rely on that arm strength and the mobility and everything. Basically, it just means that you'll be able to use those as a complement, but that won't be the sole reason why the offense works. We already have an
Right.
offense in place that'll make sure that, you have Jonathan Taylor who will be able to come back next year and do great things because he'll be fully recovered. He'll be good to go. And then on top of that, you know what you have at receiver because I mean, all our receivers are basic. We basically have a basketball team for at receivers, like literally. So, so when you're looking at a team like this, I think if you do go after Anthony Richardson, you're going after Anthony Richardson because you know that you're getting a guy that can go and extend those plays, who'll go and do what Daniel said, but at the same time, still go ahead and make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position to screw yourself royally by getting an older coach. Like the last thing that somebody like Anthony Richardson needs is an older coach because older coaches, I think to me, it's just
Set in
like
their
some of them
ways.
have aged out of the game. Like they've aged themselves out of the game itself. And then now it's just like when you see these guys like, I'm going to say like the Ben Johnson, who we see as the offensive coordinator, like we see what Brian Dabble did. I mean, he has a giant, so he has Daniel Jones looking like he's actually a decent quarterback.
Correct.
And I didn't know that that was possible because, Daniel Jones for the most part has been a dumpster fire.
I mean, we can say the same for Ben Johnson. How you doing with golf?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the reason why it's just like I've just been so high on Ben Johnson, basically all year. So, and then he said, "You must have just got done listening to my guys at the Anvil. He's a top 25 draft pick. Hopefully, he's our guy. If not, cash in on Bo Nix in the next draft." So yeah, so the Anvil, those are our guys. Like I said, we love Clyde, we
Shout out
love
to them.
Pete, all of them. Yeah, definitely make sure that you're tuning in. We're generally on around like 9 to 9:30 on Tuesdays. They're on at 8. So as soon as you're done with them, come on over. But yeah, but like bless you. But the thing is, like I said, so the Bo Nix thing kind of like I don't want to extend this any longer. Like I don't want to make this a longer process than it needs to be. Because if we're
It's
talking
time right
about
now.
this being, yeah, it should like, assuming like there are people that are saying, okay, well, we need to, go after Arch Manning. Arch Manning is 3 years away. There's no way that I'm going to go through three more of this season. Absolutely not.
No
I
way.
will
No. No.
literally, I will literally religiously watch hockey before I actually go and say that I'm okay with us being 4-10-1 for 3 more years so that we can draft Arch Manning.
What's the other sport?
So,
They run around with the the stick. The other one,
oh yeah,
lacrosse.
lacrosse.
I watched that shit.
Yeah. Now, not for nothing. Lacrosse does look a little bit hectic at times. I mean, even rugby's a little bit crazy, but still, that's neither here nor there because I is like not going through this. It's just not happening again. Like no way, absolutely not. So yeah, but like I said, I mean, I wouldn't say it's just. I think this year is our best bet to go and get a guy that we know is going to be good. I know that people are talking about having Harbaugh, but I mean Harbaugh is like what 58, 59. Um,
I
going
mean, he's
after
a good coach. He's a good coach too, though. I
he
mean,
he is. He is, but I just don't want us to go the route of like I said, just aging up in offense. Like the thing is, you have your guys now where it's just like you have your Andy Reid paired with a Pat Mahomes, which is honestly like a match made in heaven.
mhm.
But I don't think pairing them with guys that have been somewhat successful in the league is going to be good in the long term because I mean this game is just frequently evolving. I mean, Harbaugh, look at how the offenses were ran back when Harbaugh was in the league, and then now this is so much more of a passing league that now you're either going to have to adapt or you're going to be lost in it. And going from college into the pros is very, very it's a different transition. Like I know what he was doing before, but it's just like now it's different. It's very, very different.
You're right, because his brother having the same issues with the Ravens right now.
Yeah, and it's just like now it's just like yeah, you gotta even Lamar like it's just like they were a run hard team all this time, and then now it's just like they have to adapt to the pass, and they haven't adapted to the pass by making sure they get Lamar any type of weapons or any type of help, and you're asking him to do it with his legs, but then you're trying to also have him shake the running quarterback mantra. So I mean I don't know, but let's get to this awful game because yeah, Colts versus Chargers. Um, it was bad all around if we're being completely honest. Um, neither one of the quarterbacks in the game threw any touchdowns, like any. It was awful. But Nick Foles started, so Austin, tell us about this game. Just tell us about this game because just let's make it interesting.
Yeah. So Nick Foles was bad in the preseason. So I just had a feeling, he's going up against backups in the preseason, playing bad. Starting him in the regular season is not a good idea, but we did it, and it wasn't a good idea. He threw 3 interceptions, and he tried to throw it deep to Paris Campbell, and he underthrew him, and it got picked off. And like I feel like if you're gonna throw a jump ball, you should throw it to one of the taller guys. But it was a boring game.
Yeah.
Because like you said, neither team was playing well. Austin Eckler had the 2 touchdowns. But I mean, other than that, it was just a very bland, boring game.
Yeah. 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 Very much so. What about you, Josh? What about you? Because like I said, we had the marquee matchup versus the second coming of sweet baby Jesus' son, Justin Herbert. And even he looked like eh.
Without going into full details, just know that offense look like shit and defense look like both defense look good.
Yeah.
Both
Well, I mean,
defenses,
that's what we're used to. That's what we're used to.
well, I'm saying like the Chargers defense that they sacked Foles with 6 times,
7.
7 times. So yeah, I didn't I missed one. 7 times he threw 3 picks. I don't know who he was seeing. He just was everything was just pretty much just thrown in the air. Like he was just hey Calvin Johnson out there. And we got no Calvin Johnson out there. He just was throwing it, and I was like, oh my god, here we go again. It was crazy how we threw a pick. No, how we threw a pick. They threw another pick, and then we threw another pick. I'm like, oh my god, you know what? Just forget it. Just run the ball the whole game. Don't throw a ball again. That's how bad
Just
I
feel
want.
it.
Just
Nail
feel it.
Yeah,
You just stop throwing the ball. That's how boring it was because like they was giving it back, with giving back to them. They was giving it back. I'm like, you know what? I'm very uninterested in this game because, well, I mean, what did we see? We didn't see nothing. We scored 3 points the whole game, and luckily we got that. And it was off their
yeah,
turnover.
yeah,
Um, it was just bad. It was all around bad. It shows the defense is still doing what it's been doing all year long, and just giving just creating havoc. Yeah, we're not getting as many turnovers this year as we did last year, but they're getting guys off the field. It's just the offense is not helping them out, and so we put them back on the field again, and it's just taxing to them. Um,
yeah,
I feel bad for the defense. I feel bad, even without Darius playing, aka Shaq. We still playing, even without even without Isaiah starting, we're still having good defense, and this is it's very good. Um, it's just too bad the offense is not giving them what they, it's not being a balance. It's not giving them, hey, go down, score, get you some rest before putting you back on the field, and it just, like I said, taxing. I just hate it for them. The offense has just been the same 16 weeks. I feel like Reich was out there just coaching the team still. it just
yeah,
it just felt like it felt like Matt Ryan was still playing. He's
yeah,
throwing picks. It's nothing changed.
yeah.
Nothing changed at all. It's just the same game as the previous weeks.
Exactly, and I mean that's what we've come to expect. I mean, you can't continue to hope that the defense is going to bail out the offense week in and week out because it's not going to happen. Like the offense doesn't do enough for the defense to be able to just come in and then just get a turnover because, I mean, in most games that we've had, if the offense even scores a touchdown, we win a game because the defense has to really just make up for the shortcomings of this putrid offense. And I mean, that's the way that it's been. That's the way it's going to continue to be. Like we've seen exactly what it is, and I think it's just like I said, that's the reason why, I'm saying it's just like Ben Johnson is going to be the ideal candidate to go after for offense because you know exactly what you're getting. You got somebody who's going to be able to know how to do the offense, and I don't think any defensive coordinator is going to not know how to use this defense to their maximum potential. Like, of course they will. And then also, well, we touched on it already, but you know what? For kicks and giggles, Nick Foles starts. What are our thoughts on that?
Just like this silence right here. That's what it was. Just silence.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's what it was.
yeah,
Just complete silence. Like, what the fuck?
yeah, yeah. It was bad. It was bad. And you know
Even
what? You know what?
even his press conference was bad. His little interview he had where he asked him have he had any first team reps. He said no, not all year. I'm like, what a clusterfuck.
But you know what? I think that now this actually kind of puts things to rest because now we don't have to worry about hearing, oh yeah, let's see what Nick Foles has. You see what Nick Foles has? Absolutely nothing. Like I really wish that people would just let go of the fact that he had that one anomaly season under Doug Peterson and Frank Reich because there's no need to talk about it anymore. Like there's literally no need to talk about that anymore because that was literally a one off. It's like in any movie where they get all the way to the end and then all of a sudden the main character gets that one power surge where they're able to beat this villain that's been kicking their ass all movie. Like that's just not the way that it is. So I mean, I'm glad that we finally get to see what we saw out of Nick Foles because I don't want to see that again. I mean, you're,
Well,
you're talking about a
we got
guy
no
that
choice.
that you got. Well, whatever. As long as we were climbing in the to get our draft pick. Hell, I mean, at one point it's just like we can end up being top three in the draft. I'll be completely okay with that, especially since I know that it's going to come down to Texans, Bears, and Colts, and the Bears do not need a quarterback because Justin Fields is phenomenal. or not. Well, let me not go phenomenal because I was just getting on
Oh, I was
people
like,
for
yeah.
calling
I was
for calling QBs elite. But Justin Fields is good, so they don't need a quarterback. All right,
Justin Fields is elite.
I'm not doing that. Why? You know, you've been trolling me a lot, Austin, recently. Like
yes, yes,
you've been trolling me
big
a
time.
lot. You sir, have been the thorn in my ankle. You have been the that one hangnail that hurts, but you can't really find it. Like you sir, you've been doing this, and you know what? I love you like a brother, but I'm telling you right now, sir. You and me, when I see you, fisticuffs, okay?
All right.
All right, just like that old style, like it's just like the full out arm extension, like that's gonna be what you see. So when you see that, just know what's happening. But let's just hit on something because you know what, Josh, you've been a little bit on edge recently, to say the least.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to say this because I think we've kind of got things kind of confused and misconstrued. But is it okay? Is it wrong to be okay with losing out?
Is it wrong for wanting it? You say, is it wrong to be okay with losing? As a competitor, you know, as such myself, I can't speak for you guys. I don't like the theory of let's lose out, but then turn around saying, "Hey, we suck today." Okay, what's the purpose of want to lose out? Like, what are we watching? If you want to lose out, how can you watch a game and say, you know what? Hey, Nick Foles to a pick. Let's go. We losing out. It don't even sound right. It just don't even feel right. You know, but everybody has their, everybody has their own way of how they want to get their quarterback or get their next their guy. Me, I'm not saying that I don't want a future quarterback, such as the guys we listed over the weeks. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying that I'm sure there's another way we can get them without having to sell out like this. It to me, my opinion, and you don't have to. You guys don't have to feel a type of way with it. It's just cheesy to say let's lose. You know, that's for a team like the Lions or Jacksonville, teams like Texans that wants to lose every year to get a top player. I don't rock like that because I feel like that means that the GM, you're making the job easy for a GM, especially for Ballard. You know, if he's supposed to be good as he's supposed to be, he should be able to draft a quarterback in any round and not have to be sorry just to have a top 3 pick. And now he has no choice but to pick the right guy. Now if
Yeah.
he fucks up, then that's on him. But yeah, I just feel like that, and then I don't even trust him as the guy to select the quarterback because I feel like he's going to trade down. So that's my problem with losing. Okay, losing. Okay, cool. The team doing enough of it, but you got a guy that's stubborn, guy that don't know how to draft a quarterback. He drafted 2 of them. One is gone, and one is okay. And then what? He traded back a couple times when we needed the guys. So I just don't trust him as the guy that's going to be make the call to select that quarterback in 2023.
Okay. What about you, Austin?
So yeah, I get completely not wanting to lose. I hate losing. I've hated every game we've lost. And I understand it's helping us get a better draft pick. So I'm trying to be okay with it. I try not to be like upset. I try not to be upset after a loss, because like whenever you're competitive and you lose, you're a little upset. But like we've been losing and we're obviously eliminated from the playoffs now. So whenever we go out and we lose, it seems like every game I'm just trying to look at it as, it's okay. We're hopefully gonna be better next year.
Right.
But like I get it. I don't like losing at all. But like
Yeah.
it is what it is. We can't do anything to stop it.
Like I said, I get it too. I get the reason behind it. But the last few weeks, look how look how the losses have been, starting with Dallas. We in the fourth quarter we up we down by 2 points, down 19-17, and they just rip off 33 points in a row,
Yeah.
like unanswered, nothing. It just kept going, and then you go to the Vikings game. I'm like, okay, like you said, guys, losing is what we want to do, but to be up 33 points. I don't care what going on, what's at stake. I don't care what's at stake. At that point, you got to team up 30 points, 30 plus points. There's no way you should shit the bed and lose. And now you're in the record book as the only team who gave up a 30-point lead. And that was the Oilers who previously had it. And then Monday, you just at home, in your throwbacks or whatever you want to call them, color rush jersey, and you get smacked in a boring game. At that, you get smacked 20-3. It's just not. We're not playing. We're not being competitive as I thought we would for the 8 weeks that Jeff Saturday is going to be head coach. We're not being competitive. I think we had one competitive game, or maybe two against Philly and who else? It was Philly and the Raiders. Those are the only two games that we were competitive in. Other games you got smacked.
Oh, except for
in the mouth.
The Raiders were.
Well, yeah, we won that game. Yeah. But that was first game. After that, we was close. We had a close game against the Eagles, which was winnable, and the rest of the game was just blowouts. Well, not blowout against Vikings, but they came back.
Yeah, I mean, but still, it's just like it was. I mean, it's a blowout, not necessarily by the term, but the thing is, when you let a team score as quickly as they did, I mean, you let them score 39 damn near unanswered. So, I mean, technically, it's just like you can call it what you want, but it was a massacre. But you know what? But I think we talked about this. I'd never root for this team to lose. But the thing is, I think there's a certain amount of like cockiness that comes with Chris Ballard that I think right now it's just like seeing the way that this team is right now is very humbling. Mm-hmm. Like you've prided yourself on saying, well, we have a group of good guys and we do this, that, and the other. And then people are asking you, okay, did you address O-line? Did you address this? And everything that he said in the preseason actually ended up just being completely false because of the fact that you're literally looking at a team that, while you do have some good guys there, it's a team that's extremely flawed. Mm-hmm. And I mean, with this team, it's just like it's not going to take one, maybe two guys. It's going to take it's going to take a good concerted effort in free agency, in the draft, possibly even in trades to go and just get this team back to where they need to be. Because right now it's just like this team. This is the reason why I said this team should not go to playoffs, because the thing is, even if you do make playoffs, you end up not just going ahead and screwing up a draft position, but you end up putting yourself in a position where you're not necessarily, where you would like to be overall. And then also, this team isn't going to beat a team in the playoffs. Like, forget what we did against Buffalo last year. Forget everything that happened previously that showed that this team could potentially do something. When you're going against the Chiefs, you're going against the Bills. Mind you, all these teams that we'd be going against, we'd potentially be going against at home. We just lost badly to the Chargers. I mean, there's not a team that would be in the playoffs that I would be confident that we'd be able to go into a game and I'd say, you know what, we might be able to do something. Because that's just not the case. Like, everybody was just like, yeah, we can still make playoffs. No, we don't need to go to playoffs because there's no need for us to go into the playoffs and get embarrassed. And then we're looking at our draft position like, oh, we were better off just losing out. Like, it doesn't make sense to go and just want, like, I get like trying to be competitive and I want this team to be as competitive as possible. If I could have my way, we would still be in these games by 1 point. But the problem is that this offense is awful. Matt Ryan has to go. If he doesn't retire after this year, they should just cut him. Just cut their losses. Because honestly, I don't see how you could go into next year and you're paying this man $37 million. Like, right now, it looks like we got finessed out of a third-round pick. And not only that, but that Carson Wentz pick isn't looking like it's going to be a second. It's going to be a third-round pick. So, I mean,
at least we get one back.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, no, absolutely not. But I mean that's just where we're at right now, and I mean it doesn't make any sense to me to like I said, I want the guys to go, and I said this on the anvil in the comments, but I was just like, hey, listen, I want all the guys to perform. I want them to get picks. I want them to get yards. I want Michael Pittman to go for over 1,000 yards, which he still can do. I want, Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce and Paris Campbell are both over 500 yards. So already we're higher in production than we were last year in terms of where our wide receivers are because Michael Pittman Jr. went over 1,000, and then after that, I think we had like 500 some, and then I think that was Jonathan Taylor, and then we had like 300 something, which was Zach Pascal. Like it was bad. And now you have three wide receivers, so it's not like you don't have the talent, you just don't have the guy to throw to him. So I mean, it is what it is. And then let's go over this before we get out of here because honestly, it's just like is there any hope at all for this game that we won't look like an absolute JV offense when we go out there?
I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. This game is winnable, but I don't want to put any stock into it. So hey, Colts win by 3.
What about you, Austin?
Yeah, I mean the Giants aren't very good. They've been better than they have in the past, and Saquon's been healthy all year.
This is true, yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I'm happy for Saquon. Obviously, I hate to see
Yeah.
people's careers shortened by injuries. I mean, yeah, this is a winnable game, but our offense hasn't put together 2 good drives in the past 5 games. So I just don't see us winning this game. Even if it is a 1-point game, 7-6 or something like that. I don't see it being a fun game just like us and the Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. So what do you think the score is going to be?
I'll just say 7-6.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I have no faith in this offense because the O line is just bad, and then Nick Foles is worse, Matt Ryan's worse. I mean Sam Ellinger, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because it's just like he looked decent at times, but I just don't have any faith in this offense. Yeah, no, I think we lose this one 24-14. I'm even generous giving them 14. Let's be honest. So yeah, that's just what it is. Because I mean, honestly, I just want this season to be over so we can start the scouting process, start the hiring process. I know Jim Irsay said that Jeff Saturday is an outstanding candidate, but I mean, let's just be completely honest. I think Jeff Saturday is in over his head. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't want to do the whole offensive coordinator thing. I don't want to go with the whole let's go and do let's let's go ahead and search from within. It's just like no, just get rid of everybody. Like, I mean, if you're going to kick the tires on anybody, maybe Bubba Ventrone, possibly. But, I mean, just go out, throw Ben Johnson the bag. Then, like I said, just go into the draft and do what you got to do. Because at this point, it just doesn't make sense it doesn't make sense to be in the position that we're in right now and then still be dealing with what we're dealing with at this moment. Like, it just doesn't make sense.
I agree.
So yeah, but it is what it is. So like I said, it's just like, I mean, stay competitive. Hopefully everybody gets their bonuses so that they want to stick around. But I mean, like I said, we're gonna lose this 24-14. So yeah. But in the meantime, people, thank you for tuning in. And it was staying with us talking about this team that has so much potential but has underperformed so badly. In the meantime, guys, tell the people where to find you on social media.
You can find me at on Twitter at I am Josh Senior. Go check me out.
All right. How about you, Austin?
You can find me on Twitter at CookieAustin2.
All right. And you can find me at CJ Coltsfan on Twitter. And you can actually find the podcast pages at YDKJAC Podcast, at YDK Basketball, and at YDKJAC Baseball. And you know the best part about it is if you go into at YDK basketball, you can actually roast Josh about how bad the Lakers are.
But I still support my team though. I didn't change to the. We say your team again now? I forgot. What's your new team is?
Oh, we're going with Chicago.
And they bad. and they bad. Yeah, they're trying to trade.
You know what? I
Zach
saw.
Levine.
But you know what? I saw something the other day that I was just like, oh, look at these guys. Because I saw it's just like when what's the name? When Mike Brown got ejected from the game, and then they had Jorge Fernandez had Gimo Fernandez. He had to come in and coach, and then he coached him to a win, and then he became the first Hispanic coach to win an NBA game, which I had no idea.
Wow, that's big time.
Yeah, so I was just like, dang, that's actually pretty damn good. And then Mike Brown was like, he was in the locker room like cheering him on. I'm just like, I haven't seen that type of life in a very long time. So that's pretty good.
And go ahead, Austin. Lakers lost to Miami.
Oh yeah, they did. Was that the game where LeBron was backpedaling and he just fell out of nowhere?
Oh, I don't know. They played today. I don't know. I was at work, so
Oh,
I
okay.
home.
Okay. Well, that happened today.
Well, I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I've been at work, so.
Okay. Well, anyway, hey, listen, we'll see you later, people. By the way, Merry Christmas to everybody who celebrated. Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, all that good stuff, and have a Happy New Year. We will see you on the flip side next Tuesday. We will be back live on Tuesday, since of course the Colts won't be playing on Monday. Thank God, because we don't need to be in prime time anymore. So, yeah,
right.
But otherwise, have a great time, people. Hey, be safe. Hopefully, see you in 2023. And we will see you. I'm not gonna be cheesy and say next year because Jesus Christ, this season's gone bad enough. God damn it, Austin.